Hello, and this is Jim with a review of the Edifier TWS1 and TWS5. So I've been testing these out heavily over the last while, and my findings might surprise some people, based on my own ears if you want. And yeah, basically when it comes down to sound, I'll tell you at the end which I think is the best for money, and overall both of them are good in their own ways. Everyone has different listening tastes, and that's basically how it is. Through the big collection of true wireless earbuds I have, and more that's coming, there seems to be small iterations along the way, different sound stages and so on, and more features coming along. And the next feature is coming along now with ANC with true wireless, which these don't have, nor USB-C, nor do they have an app. So they're my only kind of dislikes, if you will. Given that they're out a while now as well, I can't really complain too much, but Edifier would massively benefit an app for their headphones and earphones. Given that they do have good sound in general, as people know, have been testing for a long time and have always been happy, but an app would only enhance that feature even more. So just something to keep in mind, and something personally I'd like to say to Edifier. And I still love their products and never had a complaint about any one of them, and the same goes on today with these. So we're going to start off with the TWS1s, which are, as you see here, they're the smaller of the two, and really nice. Case is nice. I just hope that the case over time doesn't go yellow like this one here, but this is quite more of a matte finish, where this is a gloss. And these are the kind of earbuds that takes you a couple of minutes to get used to. This is the 2-pin charge inside, and as you can see there's no physical buttons, if you will. You just have to do the usual taps, and the same is more or less the same on both. You have your LED indicators there, right and left branding, and a nice ergonomic design. Fit very well, don't fall out. Something which I didn't like at the start when these true wireless came out. I always thought it'd fall out, but since times have changed and moved on, they are much better at staying in now, as they're a more common ground product than they were when they first came out. Same with the similar stupid looking AirPods. So these are very good, for their price. Really are fantastic with sound, especially with volume. Volume is something I like in my earbuds, and again, it's very hard to get earbuds that sound loud. So if you need loudness, you look at these, and these are probably one of the best there is out there for the price bracket, and coming in at around 50 quid now. These are the older ones. For the money here, you can't really go wrong. So these have a different chipset than version 2 or 5, if you will, and they have nice sound. I found here with the sound stage on these, and the sound in general, it's more balanced, it's more central. You can pick up the sound and have an idea which way the sound's coming from, if you will. They have some bass, and not the loudest bass or the deepest bass, but they do have some bass, and they are very good at delivering nice crisp sound, especially if you're listening to loud music or streaming Netflix or stuff like that. You know where the sound is coming from, if you understand what I'm trying to tell you. Whereas with these, they're not the same. I'll explain more. But overall, for the performance and the price you get in these, I found these the better of the two, which, as I said, some people might find strange. Even though these have app text on board, there's no app. Again, which can only, there's a couple of headphones I have there, for example, that come in at 40 quid to have app text and an app, and the sound from them, from a €40 pair of headphones compared to some €200 or €300 pair of headphones I have, is just quite unbelievable. So again, as I said, something to bear in mind. But overall, these are nice and I like them. And these are my favourite out of the two. As I said, I'll explain why. So you have you have the usual taps and so on to move. You can skip tracks. You can skip backward by triple pressing, skip forward by double pressing, and pause, single tap, play, single tap, and so on. And you can accept your calls and all that kind of stuff. So you have all them features built in here on these. And again, simple to use and well worth their money. Moving on to these. Now, as you can see, these are slightly bigger. And we have a better case this time around as well. You've got 3 points inside, you've got 3 LEDs in the front. And it's a nice case as well. It is larger. You can see the difference between the two sizes there. Now, this mightn't fit everybody's ears. These might protrude from people's ears, these ones here over these. Again, some people are picky like that. I don't mind. I've loads of different pairs here. Some of them do protrude a lot more than others, you know. So again, if you're style conscious, again, I think it's a lot of bullshit. It's the sound you're getting and the sound you're paying for, not the look. So it doesn't bother me if these are bulkier than these. There is quite a difference there, as you can see for yourself, as clear as day. And I found these more on the lighter side when it comes to sound. They do deliver again, but the sound isn't as heavy as they are in these. So again, it's something to think about. You have the same situation here with your taps and so on, and your skipping forward and reverse tracks. And again, the branding is the same. If you put two side by side, you can see the difference there, much bigger on the outer part of the ear, and again coming from here. So that's one of the big differences between both of these, as you can see there quite clearly. Not really a problem for me, as I said. They will be protruding more so. And anyway, that's just what I think on the visual aspect. So the sound from these, I found the sound a bit lighter compared to the TWS5s or the ones, and I had to find myself using full volume to get the kind of sound achievement I look for in earbuds. But that's just me, my ears, my opinion. Everyone's ears is different. So, but overall the sound is great as well. It's just that I find I have to push these more to get the same as these, which I found strange. But however, that's just, as I said, it's just my opinion, and as you know, I'll be straight up with my opinion, but I still like them. They sound great. Again, you can do the same thing with your double presses and so on, and you have all the features there. These are the touch type here, there's no clicky button, the same as these, and some people hate that kind of experience. It's just a matter of getting used to them. Like for example, again, these ones here have no button. You just tap over the area and it's the same thing. Some people I've spoken to that have earbuds like myself find that experience annoying, but when you get used to them, even within a couple of hours of using these, you get used to doing this because you don't have any feedback when you press them, and the same applies to these here as well. So it's up to the person themselves, but I said it's only a small caveat if you're rather the clicky type, like we have our jabbers here for example. You have a physical button there, as you can see, and same for example a recent pair I've reviewed, you have a physical clicky button there, and some people would prefer that, you know, but that's just people's opinions, which you're entitled to. Again, I'm kind of in that bracket too, but I can understand these, and I think these are actually more cleaner because there's no buttons to click, but it's just a matter of getting to learn how to tap them, and it's just more or less thumb memory to get used to them. From trying multiple different types of earbuds, even putting them back in the box sometimes requires some thumb memory, so it's just getting used to your own earbuds. And for me, switching between different ones every week, it does get a bit annoying sometimes, but this is what I do, and it's just from my own personal experience from using different types over the last 2 years more so. with the true wireless in particular. It's just part of the true wireless earbuds way of things, you know. And again, we've got this different pair in here, the RHAs, which again is a different factor. It's a short stem, you do have a clicky button there, and they're kind of similar to these, but these have no button, but the RHAs do. These styles differ, the same as these versus the two other selections there. They've clicky buttons, these don't. It's all touch. It's just a matter of getting used to it. But the sound experience from both is pretty good, and I can't really complain. So these are more expensive than these. As I said, these are going to cost you around 50 quid now, and the TWS are slightly more expensive. And again, battery life is pretty good, and these have nice curves as well, and they do have high quality audio as well, like these. But speaking from an overall sound experience, I found the TWS1s better. Some people might not agree, some people will. Edifier, I don't know. My review is based on my thoughts, on my ears, but for the money, my money is on the TWS1s. But having said that, these are just as good, but you have to push them more to get the same kind of value out of these. You know, depending on what music you listen to, bass I find these better for music, so on. Highs, lows and mids, they kind of fare out the same, but you have to push these up to a higher volume to get the kind of same experience in these on the lower volume, if you understand. But overall they're pretty much similar, but the only difference really is I found that these are louder and they have a much more deeper tone to them, and the only other difference then is the size. Like, size matters for some, doesn't really for me. I'm not too pushy or too bothered about what people think, what I'm wearing in years. But again, it's something you have to take into consideration. There's a lot of people are on the trends now and want to have something that looks good rather than something that sounds good. And one fine example is that is them stupid AirPods. They look ridiculous and they sound ridiculous, you know. So people might say these look ridiculous but they sound great, and whatever the case may be, that's how it is and that's how I feel. But overall, for the comparison to the two, I prefer this pair over this pair, and I look forward to see what else they have coming down the line. But if you're going to spend your money, which would I suggest over the other, I'd go with these first and then I'd go with these. Now there is a couple more different earbuds from Edifier, so I'm going to be testing them soon and I'm going to see what they sound like too later on. But these are basically sent out for me to do a comparison test on both. And often it's the case on a tech cycle that the newest product doesn't mean it's the best product, you know, and that's not taken away from the company at all. That can be said for a lot of companies and a lot of products in general, you know. And again, it's just how tech products evolve. Features come in, might come in at a different price, they have different specs. You know, you have to take all this into consideration when you're buying products, and when the product line is extending its range. There is things left out to bring down the price. Like these are going to cost around 80 quid, as these are 50, so there's not much between the two of them, you know, so that's just how I feel. So with the TWS5 you have a wool felt diaphragm, and it gives you a lot of balance with lows, middles and highs and so on, and has good resolution and dynamic compared to the TSW1s. The TSW5 also has an LDS radium antenna which guarantees the RF signal, and playback is basically the same with the pins as I said before, and one has 3 and one has 2, and it's better battery management in the TWS5s. So the only real difference is both have their own kind of take on music. And the same does apply to earbuds or headphones as well. You know, I have a big collection of headphones as well, and sometimes I find you have to push some more than others to get the sound you want. But overall, I prefer these out of the two, which, as I said, some people might not agree or some might agree. But I said there's different other earbuds from Edifier which I'm going to test and see again, and I'll do a bigger comparison overall and let you know what I think then. So if you want to buy a nice pair of earbuds that are simple, sound good, and have, like, it's a subjective review, mind you, because like I said, my ears are different to everyone else's and you just have to go with that. But from testing a lot of earbuds, I know which sounds better. So these for me sounded better over these overall. That's it for now. Any questions, don't be afraid to ask, hit me up and stay tuned for more. And check out Edifier and check out the rest of the products we reviewed. Their headphones are fantastic. We've done some of their Bluetooth speakers. So again, as I've said before in every review of Edifier, I've never been displeased with their audio quality. The audio quality is great on both of these, and the build quality is great as well, and they have a good strong track record of delivering good products, and they have good support as well. And there's a big Edifier community out there, and you should go check them out as an alternative. You might see them in the shops here in Ireland, but you can buy online, and check them out and stay tuned for more. And thanks for watching, and thanks to Edifier for sending these out for us to compare. That's about it for now, and I'll leave it with you, and we'll see you in the next video. We'll talk to you then.